Yo. Yo, my man Ed is running a little late. He said he's coming through a little bit later. So in the meantime, we just gonna pay some bills. You know what I'm saying? Mac Lives Matter. Make sure y'all get on the Teespring. Now I mean, what's going on? What's going on, everybody in the chat? What's up, Elroy Jetson? What's up, Christian Goggins, Jet Lucy, Joe Blast? What up? Appreciate you for putting the links in, my brother. Unique 79, as always. Appreciate you for throwing in the links in there. Let me see if I could gotta play that trailer. You know what I'm saying? Gotta play that trailer. All right, so here we go.
Everybody has game. The thing is, though, is your game weak or is your game strong? See, that's the difference. See, having weak game is synonymous with having no game. But you have game, you have a strategy to get what you want, but your strategy might be weak.
I always tell these guys, snap your fingers. And I'll tell them, snap your fingers. Like, you hear that sound? I'm like, what is that sound? Bitch, that's a 17-year-old that just turned 18. That's a 19-year-old that just turned 21. They are just, they're everywhere.
Hi, how you doing? You think I give a fuck about how you doing, bitch? All I want you to motherfucking do is open your mouth and say something so I can hear how your voice sounds so it can tell me how the fuck to get at you.
Your feelings are not facts. Because you feel like whatever you feel like, you can't get me to believe that there's more than two genders. You understand what I'm saying? And truthfully, I'm not sorry because I can't really make facts out of your fucking feelings. Matter of fact, fuck your feelings. There's only two genders. Only two genders. You trying to tell me that genders are neutral and niggas is trying to come up with 92 fucking genders, bro.
There's this narrative now that it's okay for a man to cry, and it's really pushing this sensitivity, express yourself, express your feelings. One thing I've always respected about my father growing up, I never seen my dad cry. Me and him would get into arguments, we would go at it, we would fight. I would say the harshest things to him I could to hurt his feelings, but I never broke him.
Shoot, just the right pair of shoes get your dick sucked. Just the right pair of shoes. Women don't, seriously, you could look like Boris Cujo, you'd be 6'8", you know, have a print down to your knee. They look at those shoes, they bust, they just like, oh no, not him. Nah, boo-boo.
The bitches shine because of the nigga. Period. Like, and when it's functioning correctly, that's the way it is. So, on that note, dick is a gift. It's a gift. It's a gift.
You got to play your way from start to the end. That's having game. Because if you do that, what you expect is what's going to happen. See, don't no accidents happen with motherfuckers that got game.
That beat is crazy, man. Yeah, man. So what's going on, everybody? Feel free to put a question in the chat while we wait for Ed to come in. But in the meantime, we could talk about valuing your time. You have to value your time, guys. Listen, time is basically life. Every moment that passes, that's your life passing. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to understand how important that is. You don't want to waste your life. You don't want to waste your time. You don't want to look back and realize, damn, I should have done this. Damn, I should have done that. You understand? You got to value your time. You have to realize that every moment is, you know what I'm saying? Every moment is important. You feel me? Every moment is important. And a lot of times we let things like fear, we let things like, our ego stop us from getting what we really need to get. And the only way to get what we really need to get is go out there and do the work. And in order to have enough confidence and courage to go out there and do the work, we can't be afraid to fail. We cannot be afraid to fail. We got to get up, get out and do it. You understand? And every moment that you waste not doing it is your time just passing away and just opportunities missed constantly again and again and again. You understand what I'm saying? So you really got to make sure you value your time, and then we could get into time management. You understand? We get into, breaking down your day. You understand? You sleep for 6 to 8 hours. If you got a 9 to 5, you got to work for about 10 hours, right? Because it's an 8-hour work day. Plus you got to factor in, 1 hour for commute at least. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes 2 hours for commute because you got 1 hour going and 1 hour coming back. And then we got to look at, personal care. That means we got to go to the gym. That means we got to eat. We got to try to eat right. Then we got to work on our finances. We have to work on our personal style, our habits. We got to work on our game. You understand? Because you got to consider however you see yourself in the future, that's what you have to work towards. You understand? If you want to figure out how to divide your time, you have to look at how you see yourself in the future. And you have to be very detailed, right? So you say to yourself, well, what do I see in the future? I see myself being a guy that has I got a wife, I got kids, I got my own business. I live in a certain type of house. I drive a certain car. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and you got to ask yourself, so you got a house. How did you pay for that house? Oh, well, I paid for that house by owning my own business. What kind of business is it? Oh, I'm thinking about becoming a mechanic or something. So you got to make sure you in mechanic school, you're learning about cars, whatever. You gotta, or be in some type of trade school. You know what I'm saying? Doing that, making connections in the mechanic industry and all that type of shit. And then if you see yourself with a woman in the future, you have to learn game. You have to learn game. There's no two ways about it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You understand? A lot of you guys, you have goals. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm working on my purpose. I'm working on purpose. So I ain't really focused on chicks right now. And it's like, listen, in the future, the guy who you see in the future, does he have a woman? Yeah, I got a wife. I got a girl. So that means you got to learn game. Because if you decide to learn how to deal with women, how to relate to women, how to talk to women, after you finish with your purpose, meaning after you finish making money and all that shit, you're gonna be, it's gonna be an uphill battle. It's gonna be an uphill battle. Life is about balance, right? Because you can't do, you shouldn't do one thing all day, every day. You should mix it up. Because like I said, you got to sleep, you got to wash your ass, you got to go to work, you got to work out. You know what I'm saying? You got to eat. So you have to do different things. So practically speaking, you have to divide your time. Because ultimately you can only do one thing at a time. You could call it multitasking, but you still can only do one thing at a time. You understand? And that's where you got to use your phone, or a lot of people don't realize that you might not, because we're in a new age, you might not know what an hourglass is. But an hourglass is something that was invented so you can use it to, what's up, Ed? So you can use it to divvy up time, to divvy up your time by the hour. So you can flip the hourglass, start a task, and then once the sand goes all the way through the hourglass, then you can stop that task and start on a new task. Or if you're gonna contribute 2 hours to that time, then you flip the glass again and continue working until the second hour is done. You understand? But let me bring in Ed. My man Ed. Yo.
What's going on, Miles?
Appreciate you for weathering through the storm, weathering through the traffic and all the complications, and still making it. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here. We don't take you for granted, brother. So so that's why I said I'm gonna be on, because I want to start on time, but allow you the chance to come in and still do your thing. So you came up with the topic once again, and is you talk about value and time. So I want you to go in and let these cats know what it is, man.
Man, much respect, bro. Like, and it's ironic that I'm late to a show called Value Your Time, but sometimes things are out of our control. But I wanted to come up with this topic because the year is almost done. We're heading into December, right?
Yes.
And a lot of things connect in my mind. I like to connect a lot of different things that I hear, a lot of different topics. And I was reminded of a movie called In Time, a Justin Timberlake movie called In Time, where people literally trade, like, time was literally people's life force, right?
Mm,
Literally people's life force. And that is very similar to the life that we live, because in life, the time you have, that is literally your life force. You have that date that you're born to the day that date that you die. And that little dash in between, that is the most important dash that you'll ever see, right?
mm,
That is your time. That is your life. That is what you're doing with your life, right? And the reason, like, a lot of the topics that I came up with in the past weeks and months were all a build up to this topic: respecting yourself, knowing yourself, things like that. Because when you respect who you are and when you know who you are, you're going to value your time that much more. You're not going to
facts.
allow people to waste your time, because you'll hear dudes complain that, yeah, a lot of these modern women like to waste men's time and blah 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 blah. But it's impossible for her to waste your time, and she's powerless in wasting your time unless you allow her, right? So me, I'm a guy. Personally, I prefer to approach women in real life. Like, I see a woman I like, I'm gonna approach her, get a conversation going, and go from there. But sometimes I'll use dating apps as a backup: Bumble, Tinder, all of that stuff, right? And so the other day I was on Bumble and I matched with this chick, and like, we talked for a little bit. We talked for like a minute or so, and I'm like, yo, I'm available at this time on this day in a couple of days. Meet me at this spot in the city. All right. She continues the conversation as if I didn't say nothing. So I said one more, like, in my mind, I said it one more time. I said, meet me at this spot in this city. She goes, wow, you don't waste no time, do you? We only spoke for like 5 minutes. I'm definitely not going to meet you after a 5-minute convo. Her words verbatim. Me, valuing my time as much as I do, did not even respond. I immediately unmatched, like a smile came to my face. I'm smiling right now. A smile came to my face as I unmatched this chick. Now, I've seen that from time to time on dating apps. There would be times where I'd give a chick my number. I'd be like, here's my number. Text me so that we can take this off the app and set something up to meet, right?
Mhm.
And there will be chicks who will be like, oh, no, 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 no. Here's my number. Text me instead. Or, I want to talk on here more. The usual foolishness. A male who does not value his time
Yes.
would go along with that. Right?
Yes.
But you know what? Okay, you know what? She's probably not comfortable because she really doesn't know me. So yeah. And here's the thing: that she doesn't know me stuff is bullshit, because we're all strangers until we get to know each other. Her
Exactly.
best friends were strangers before she got to know them. Them last 10 dudes she fucked were strangers before she got to know them. And she didn't waste no time smashing them. Right?
Mm,
So when you value who you are as a person, you will not allow anyone to disrespect you by even attempting the thought of regurgitating the line of trying to waste your time. Like, you're gonna be so appalled and offended. You're gonna be like Queen Elizabeth when somebody turns their back on her. You're gonna be shocked and offended when somebody tries to waste your time. You see what I'm
well,
saying?
I never.
Right, right. I never. How dare you?
How
Right.
dare.
So it's yeah, because in one of the most recent videos that I did, it's called "Who Are You?" Right?
Uh-huh.
In that video, I say that every single person on this earth is like a melting candle.
Mm,
Right? What does that mean? When you light a candle, when you ignite a candle, it slowly starts to melt. That's us. We're blessed with the spark and the fire of life, but we have a death sentence on every single one of us from the moment we're born, because we're all gonna die one day. So
wow.
as you are that melting candle, and as you slowly melt, what are you doing with that fire of life that you've been given?
Right.
Right? That fire that's ignited you to live in this world. What are you doing with it?
Yeah.
Right? Every time you every time you listen to somebody tell you some excuse, like, let's talk on here more, or no, I don't want to meet there, let's meet here instead, or maybe we'll see, I'll think about it, if nothing else comes up, then I'll get back to you. Every time you allow somebody to do that to you and you go along with it, you are
Facts.
devaluing yourself, and you are telling yourself subconsciously that you don't matter.
Mm,
And people, as silly as most people are, and like, yes, the masses are asses, people can still tell when someone does not value themselves.
facts.
People can still tell when someone does not value their time. You see how you started this live exactly on time. because you value your time, right? Somebody who didn't value their time, which was about, you know what, yeah, I can wait a little more. I can, blah, blah, blah. I can, hold on a little more. And, when he feels getting around to it, I guess I can, kowtow and bend to his whim and all that stuff, right? And when you do that, you show that you have no direction. You show that you have no leadership, no assertiveness. You show that you will bend to other people's words and other people's will. Now, as a man, right, who wants women in your life, women are excellent at reading energy. They're going to see that you're the type of guy who bends to other people's will, and they're going to get drier than the Sahara, the Namibian, and the Gobi combined. You understand? All those deserts combined, they're going to get drier than that because they can see, if I'm with this guy, he doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground. He's going to be a feather on the wind. I don't feel comfortable with this guy, and I don't feel safe with this guy. I'm already unsure of myself. This is what the woman is thinking. I got student loans out the ass. I got credit cards. I got Macy's credit cards, Victoria's Secret's credit cards, Lane Bryant credit cards, Pink credit cards. I got all these credit cards and all this debt I got to pay back. And on top of that, now I got to deal with this guy who doesn't value his time and can't even plan a date and can't even tell me which direction we should go in and can't even give me proper instructions and is wishy-washy. Dealing with women and dealing with life is not nearly as complicated as so many guys have made it out to be, right? If you value your time, whenever you say we're going to do this and someone tells you no, all you have to do is simply just remove them out your life, remove them out your presence. If I say to a chick, meet me at this time, at this date, on this at this place, and she goes, that's too far, I can't make it, I don't want to go there, maybe, we'll see, I don't know about that, anything except okay, cool, or what should I wear, you're done. I don't even have to respond, because a lot of dudes fall into this trap too of trying to like go tit for tat with women. Like she says something to you, and then you feel you got to say something slick back. Oh well, if you don't want to come, I'm a high value man, and that's why I'm red pill, because I ain't gonna allow no chick to waste my time. You see, the problem with you modern women is you like to waste dudes' time. You don't have to do none of that back and forth. Because you value your time, you're not gonna waste time going back and forth with females. You are just not going to respond. That is the most powerful response.
Yes, because arguing takes time.
Arguing not only takes time, but like, once again, you devalue yourself. Now you're putting yourself on her level, and she's looking at you like, oh, you got to split between your legs just like me, right? And now she's going to treat you like you got to split between your legs just like her. Women, whether modern, strong, independent women want to admit it or not, they hold us to a much higher standard than they hold themselves.
As they should.
Right? So she's expecting more from you than she expects from herself. When she does her little petty comments and says some little thing that she thinks is slick, she's expecting you as a man to rise above it. Even though she might get mad at first that you do rise above it, she might feel like, oh, you're treating me like a child and you're looking down on me and you're condescending towards me and all that. And in the back of her mind, she's going to respect you, because she's like, yeah, this is what a man acts like. He's seeing past my foolishness. He's seeing past my childishness. And this is a man that I can actually follow. This is a man that I feel comfortable enough and safe enough to follow. Because women do want to follow men. They do. A lot of them say they don't. I don't need no man. We equal to men. Women are smarter than men. I've heard that too. I've heard women say they're smarter than men. I've heard that a lot. But deep down, they want a man they can follow. They really do. But what they want to do is see that you are comfortable enough in your own skin and you respect your time and your life enough to be someone that they can actually trust to follow. She cannot trust you to follow. She cannot trust you to be someone she can follow if she sees that you waste time frivolously because you're easily distracted and you lack discipline.
Facts. And I wanted, it's a good point you bring up, because if you waste time is life, right? Yeah. So if you're willing to waste your time, that means your time is invaluable. And if you're willing to waste your time, that means you're willing to waste your life. So what are you saying about your life?
It's not valuable.
Your life is not valuable. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of guys don't really understand what it, like, for example, I just watched a video by O'Shea Duke Jackson. Shout out to him. Now, I don't know if it's true because he be doing the gossip shit, but he said that
it's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson.
he talked about how Tiffany Haddish just kind of dumped Common. You understand? Now, if anybody's been following that relationship from the beginning, Tiffany Haddish has said on multiple occasions that she's not attracted to Common. And she kind of like just fell into the relationship because he wouldn't leave her alone. Like she said this out her mouth in interviews. Right. She's not really attracted to him like that. He was never her type. And I'm thinking to myself, this is exactly why no matter all that looks, money, status shit don't matter. If you ain't got game, if you don't understand what you're doing with your life, not like it really doesn't matter, because here it is, Common, talented, good looking dude, accolades, awards, Grammy nominations, Oscar nominations, right?
Right.
And he's literally wasting his time with a chick that doesn't find him attractive just for her to ultimately dump him anyway. What the hell is that about? When you have access to beautiful women, like you're in the industry, you're well known. So you telling me you can't get a woman to follow your rules? You can't get a woman to submit. You can't get a woman to at least act like she's playing by your rules. So you could at least use her to enhance your experience on this planet, i.e. value your time. Because if I invite someone into my life, right, and they're not benefiting my life, meaning if they're not adding value to my time, then what's the point? You see what I'm saying? Like you and I, Ed, right? We agreed to do this show on Tuesdays.
Right.
That's bringing value to both of us. Because you get to promote for my fans, and I get your content. I get your intelligence. We get to chop it up and provide a show. We get to provide value to everybody that's watching, everybody in the chat, and so on and so forth. Value for value, and everybody benefits. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
This is the type of decision making that you need to make. Too many people out there, especially when it comes to dealing with women, are putting themselves in situations where they're either not getting any value or they're giving up a lot of value for the chick. You understand? Because they'll say, "Hey, let's meet at this bar," and automatically, I don't go to bars. I only do dinner dates. And then the guy's like, "Okay, I'll take you to dinner, no problem." Right? And then they just get used again and again and again. And there's the only value is being bestowed onto the chick. Why? Because the chick has the mentality to stand firm on what she wants. Right? So how come we can't do that? How come men can't do that? Why are we always the ones, trying to acquiesce? And then at the end of the day, half the time we still getting flaked on, right? And so I be telling dudes, if you set something up and she's trying to change it before it even happens, she doesn't respect your time. She doesn't respect your life. So she doesn't think she doesn't think you're valuable at all. Because she's more concerned about, I don't like that bar, or I don't want to go downtown, or can we reschedule? Because you literally are telling, like, a lot of guys don't understand that a woman is telling you what she's about from the very first interaction. A lot of you niggas wait until you're flaked on, or you wait until you're disrespected, or you wait until she says some slick shit for you to be like, "Damn, how I didn't know these chicks out here was like that." No. I didn't know you was like that. I didn't know you didn't know how to value your time. Why? Because you're lacking game. You understand? You're lacking a sense of self to understand this is what I want, and only the women who are willing to give it to me will be able to spend time with me. Why? Because I value my time. You see what I'm saying?
No, 1000%. And it's funny that you bring up Common, because I was at a Common concert a couple years ago, and Common is what you call a hopeless romantic, right? He's one of those ultra romantic guys, and his style and his game, so to speak, would have worked great in 1950. Because at this concert, right, Camo's like, I would have talked to a young lady. I would have pulled a young. He always sounds like he has a cold. He's like, I would have pulled a young lady out the crowd, and he pointed to this random chick in the crowd, and he pulled her on stage.
Yeah.
And he set out a table and put like a cloth over it. He put a cloth over the table, and then he poured a bottle of wine for himself and the girl, right? And he just sat there and he just was drinking wine. He's like, yeah, this is what it's all about. Like just some random chick out the crowd. And like, if he was doing that then for a stranger, imagine what he's doing for a woman he thinks he's in a relationship with, right? And if you notice, like if you pay attention and follow any of that celebrity stuff, which I try not to too much, but it can teach you a lot about life. Like
exactly,
you don't hear about him having a whole lot of successful relationships with women. Like you compare it to a guy like Lil Wayne, right? And one time I heard Tariq Nasheed say Lil Wayne looks like a Jamaican roach, which was hilarious to me. But women will talk in interviews years after they've dated Lil Wayne. They'll talk about how, you know, they're still obsessed with him, how they still miss him, how they'll be crying over him, right? That's the effect that you want to have on a woman.
Right.
Even if the relationship doesn't last,
right,
you want your impact and your essence to last on her soul, right? When you are a man who values your time, you are going to be selfish. You're going to tell people no. And one of the most powerful words in the English language is no, especially when you tell it to a woman, because the average woman nowadays is used to guys bending over backwards to appease her.
Right.
She's used to the vast majority of guys walking on eggshells because they don't want to offend her. They're used to guys doing whatever she wants. Even guys in relationships, a woman be like, I want to see this movie about two swans falling in love. And he's like, in his mind, he's like, I don't want to see that bullshit. But he'll go to appease her because she'll put something on him like, if you go with me, I'll have sex with you later. And he's put himself in a position where she thinks giving him sex is a favor, right? And then because he doesn't value himself and he doesn't value his time, he will go and do an activity he doesn't want to do, thus wasting time because he wants to appease some woman because he fears losing her. But losing her, if he actually had a brain and stopped to think, losing her could be one of the greatest gifts that ever happened in his life because it would free up his time, which you never get back. Right? People like to talk about looks, money, status. You can get money back. You can make money back, especially if you're young, 20s, 30s. There's dudes there were millionaires in their 50s and 60s who lost everything and got it back. Right? So if they can do it, you in your 20s and 30s, you could do it. You can get money back. You can never get your time back. You'll never be 21, 22, 25 again, ever. Right? So when you really think like that, you will understand how important every word you say is and how important every move you make is, right? I remember a date earlier this year where a chick, and I mentioned this before, where a chick was telling me, oh, I don't kiss on the first date. That's more second date stuff. In my mind, first of all, I'm like, yo, this chick is older than me, right? I'm like, you're okay looking, but you're not nothing special personality wise or physically to be laying out all these rules, right? So I'm like, immediately I ended that thing right there. She was talking about all these rules she had. If a guy doesn't spend money on me on the first date, there won't be a second. She was saying all this bullshit. So I'm like, yo, deaded. And like once I ended it, she had the nerve to send me this long ass paragraph saying, although there was chemistry on the date, and there was some really good moments, I just feel that TLDR, I didn't read that bullshit. But because I respect myself, there is no way in hell that I would go on a second date with that woman. Right. But there was something I did wrong in that interaction, right? I did not fully value my time in the beginning in that interaction. And I thought about it after, because when I first gave her my number, she texted me back, but she texted me back like 2 days later. And in my mind, I have an ironclad rule that if she doesn't text me back, that's like, if I give a chick my number and she does not text me that day, it's done. Like, even if she texts me a day later, whatever, I won't respond. I'll just delete her number. Right. I broke that rule this time for this chick because she was like, oh, family came over. I was busy, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. Right. And I ended up going on the date with this chick. And then she ended up telling me all this foolishness. Had I deleted her like I usually would have and stuck to my ironclad rules, I would not have had my time wasted by going on that date in the first place.
Exactly.
So this is why I mention ironclad rules all the time, because not only do they preserve your dignity and your self-respect, but they preserve the most valuable and priceless resource you have, which is your time.
Thanks.
Shout out, And no, I was not simping. Somebody said simping ain't easy in the comments. No, I was not simping. I just broke one of my rules. It happens from time to time. We're human. But I want to give a shout out to the comedian Dion Cole. Because Dion Cole, aka Charlie from Blackish, if anybody watches that, Dion Cole had this comedy bit where he talked about summers. And when you think of summer, right? During summer, what tends to happen? Concerts, major events, parties, a lot of big events and fun events tend to happen during the summer.
Right.
And Charlie was like, when you look at life, you got to look at it in terms of how many summers you have left. He said the older you get, the less summers you have left. And he said all that to say this: you got to make every day count. He said when you're 30, he was just estimating. He's like, when you're 30, you got, he's like, you got like 30 or 70 summers left. But when you're 50, you got 20 or 30 summers left, right? He's like, so every time you get older, you got less summers left. You got to think of it like that. It's literally pages ticking off a calendar, right? So the more that happens, right? The more that happens, you got to understand that every single minute and every single hour of every single day has to count. Even if you're not specifically doing anything major at that time, you should at least be learning something, maybe learning a new language, reading a book, reading up interesting articles online. So doing something, even if you're not actively working out or hiking or doing some like major activity, you should always be doing something that constantly improves yourself so that you can have things to say, information to share with people, and experiences to share. You understand? Because life at the end of the day is really about experiences that you can remember, right? Gifts and all that stuff and buying nice cars and all that stuff, whatever, those things will last for a finite amount of time. That's ephemeral stuff, right? But when you have experiences and when you've lived, then you can go to your old age and say, I regret nothing, right? I regret nothing. I lived my life. I would do it all again, even the mistakes, because those mistakes were lessons that prepared me for the next time. I would do it all again. You understand? And when you really look at life like that in terms of how many summers you got left and how priceless and irreplaceable your time is, you will never waste another second again. You'll never entertain a chick again who tells you maybe. Like you give a chick your number, you're like, text me at 8:00 tonight, and she goes, maybe, we'll see. That chick will immediately leave your mind. You understand? You won't, because I know a lot of dudes nowadays are lonely and they're pressed for female company. I know it. They might pretend they're not. That's why these red pill channels are so popular, right? Especially red pill channels where they watch guys debate with females all night. Those are really popular because they are living vicariously through those guys because they don't talk to women in real life, right? If you don't talk to women in real life, you're going to waste your time watching other guys do it, right? If you don't actually do things out of the ordinary in your real life, you're going to waste time watching a whole bunch of different channels as a form of therapy to cope with the fact that you are not actually happy with your life and you're not really where you want to be. There's nothing wrong with not being where you want to be. That's fine. That shows you have some type of ambition. If you're not content, you want more, but you have to actually put in the work to get to where you want to go, right? If you are not constantly improving yourself, you are wasting your time. There is no such thing, and I said this a million times, there's no such thing as being stagnant. You are either moving forward or you are going backward, because if you are not improving who you are, the passage of time is going to leave you behind.
Yeah. I just want to remind guys, too, that, this has a lot to do with charging chicks to the game. And you have to remember, charging chicks to the game is about time. A lot of guys think charging chicks to the game is their little way of getting back at chicks or, mending the hit to their ego and all that other shit. Nah, bro. Charging the chick to the game, once you realize that she's either wasting your time, not with your program, or is just bullshitting around, it's really about not wasting time. That's why when you charge a chick and you stop calling or you block, like, you're not even ghosting. Like, you're literally just like, I'm done with that situation, because if you're not on the program, if you're not seeing what I'm saying, I have to start spending my time with somebody who does see what I'm saying. So and that means I gotta go searching, right? I gotta go holler at other chicks. I gotta go swipe on more chicks on these dating apps. I got more work to do, and you're not messing with me. So I gotta go do something over here. A lot of guys be like, yeah, man, these chicks be, they be messing around and they be playing games. So I'll be charging them to the game. And it's like, nigga, it's not like it's not like you're getting back at these chicks. These chicks don't remember you at the same time that you're not supposed to be remembering them. Yet and still you calling in my show talking about some chick that you charged to the game 2 months ago. That means she's still on your mind. That means you're still wasting time about this chick. You understand? So again, I just want to repeat to guys, charging a chick to the game or, cutting off contact with a chick is not about getting back at them for any type of nonsense that they did. Remember, we're men. We love as God loves. So we've already forgiven them for their bullshit, because bullshit is what women do. You understand? The real part, the real importance of knowing when to charge a chick to the game while she bullshitting or attention whoring or whatever it is to stop wasting your time. Why? Because we value our time, we value our life, and we value, this, because even somebody in the chat was like, you don't really die. You come back as you come back as something else or some shit like that. And that's cool. Even if you believe that, the fact that I'm coming back as something else means that I still only have this one chance in this vessel to do what I have to do before it's over. So even if I'm coming back as something else, it's not the same. It's not a continued experience. It's a break in the experience, and then I transition to something else. So, even that don't mean nothing. We still got to freaking, value our time and do what we got to do. But speaking of value in time, let these people know what's going on with you. Any promotions that you got coming up for the holidays and all that.
Yeah, no doubt. First, I want to say shout out to Fernando Faith, 50 Fitzwell. They're a couple of subscribers of mine. So
nice
to you guys. Salute. Just want to leave you guys with one of the final notes from Tupac's "I Get Around," which came out in 1993, when he tells the girl, "You need to hit the door, search for a new guy, because I only got one night in town, break out and be clown, baby doll, are you down? I get around," right? He's basically saying, if you're going to waste my time, hit the door, hit the road, get out of here, right? Because I only got one night in town, one night, my time is limited here. Right. So you either down with my program or you can go, right? So, I'm saying, like, you can pick up a lot of games just from listening to certain music. And that song is one of the songs in the playlists on my channel too. I got 2 playlists you guys could check out just for music. Some certain songs that I chose. One is called Real Hip Hop. The other one's called Timeless. Timeless is more the old school 70s, 80s stuff. My channel is called Edzone, EDDZONE. You might see the name on this live right now. Feel free to go over, subscribe. I got, commentary on social dynamics between men and women, social dynamics in general, improving yourself as a person, and my nutrition series, where you could focus on, putting foods in your body that strengthen you mentally, physically, and spiritually, so you have the energy to go out there and talk to women as they can feel your masculine presence. Because a lot of the foods people eat nowadays literally suppress your masculine presence. A lot of the foods like this, and this is something I'm going to get deeper in on my channel. A lot of the foods guys are eating are literally lowering their testosterone levels, which is why so many dudes don't have the drive and the motivation to go out and talk to women, right? You got dudes in their 20s talking about they can't get it up and all that stuff. All the soy, cornstarch, high fructose corn syrup, all that garbage that's in the food is messing you up, right? So feel free to go over to my channel, Edzone. I also got a clothing store called normalbrandswithaz.com. Go over, check it out. Right now I'm running a holiday sale. Everything is buy one, get one, 50% off. Feel free to enjoy. The reviews speak for themselves. Thank you guys for listening, and much shout out to the chat and Miles, of course.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. We go, God willing, we'll be back next Tuesday and make everything happen, man. But again, guys, between now and then, make sure you valuing your time, meaning you value your life. Start to really, love yourself, guys. Love yourself. Love your life. Be grateful. Appreciate the shit that's going on. Appreciate the fact that you can, see, talk, hear, breathe, touch, and taste and smell. Like, that is real, guys. Like, let's start to appreciate the simple things, because everybody's worrying about sex and getting with a girl and all this other shit. It's like, well, if you think about this, if you can appreciate the fact that you can talk, that's the first step to developing a mouthpiece. You understand what I'm saying? If you could appreciate the fact that you have a sense of touch, that's the first step to developing your moves when it comes to getting intimate with a female. You understand? But again, it starts with you. It starts with you. So value your time, value your life. And, you know, as always, guys, y'all know the truth is inside you, and we about to get out of here, and y'all take it easy and be safe and out there. All right. Peace.